Welcome to another episode of the Chicken Police Paint It Red. What can we expect from today's episode? Well, at least some absurd humor, gritty story, and questionable clucking about various different topics. So, let's begin.
We had to gather ourselves, take a deep breath, and think over what we knew so far. What the chickens had I got myself into? What had I dragged Marty into? Moreover, what had we pulled the whole city into? This was going to be one of those cases that changed things forever. But I wasn't worried about myself. It didn't matter to me. Too many pieces had been plucked off this old rooster. But Marty's different. He's too good of a bird and too good of a cop to end up like me.
A secret twin brother? Sonny, I'm starting to feel like we're really in a detective novel. A cheap one.
Yeah, but, listen, Marty.
What is it, Boss Bird?
I think it's best if we go our separate ways.
No.
What? Are you joking? I know you have a weak sense of humor, but there's a limit to everything.
I'm not joking, Marty.
Well, I certainly hope you are.
Whatever comes next, you don't need to be mixed up in it. You have someone to go home to.
Guys, damn it, Sonny. Can you hear yourself? What do you think? I endured all this to give up now? What do you take me for? No, pal. You're not getting rid of me so easily.
I just want you to keep your career and your life intact, you moron. Just accept it, shake my hand, and go home. Your wife, Laura's waiting for you.
One more word, Sonny, and I swear I'm gonna bash your beak in. I risked my life more than once tonight. You know why?
No, why?
Because we're a team. We have been a team for almost a decade. I don't care what Blood Boil says or whatever's on a goddamn piece of paper. We're the Chicken Police, Sonny. And we always will be.
I'm
Clark,
sorry.
yeah.
You're right.
We're gonna go to that insane asylum and wrap this shit up fast and clean. Yeah, just like you said, even if it kills us.
Thanks, Marty. Without you, I'd most likely already be sleeping the big sleep.
Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Like you say, partner.
Let's drop this before you start crying on me, okay?
I hope not.
You almost just did.
Cluck off, Marty.
That's the spirit, the Sonny I know and hate.
So, it's awesome. The Chicken Police back together. I'm emotionally so invested in this story. Each time I begin to play this game, I'm super excited about what's gonna happen next. And I hope you will be too while we are trying to together figure out what this mystery is all about. Like, what's happening here? Can we talk with Martin? No, but we could call to the asylum. The number was 555-966. Let's phone there. 5 5 5 9 6 6. No answer. Interesting. So what can we do here? I guess our only option is to talk more with Martin. Marty. Dear friend goes by many names.
What do you think, Marty?
What? You care what I think? You must have hit your head pretty bad.
Stop fooling around, Marty. I'm serious. So what do you think? About everything?
Well, I think we're in deep shit. But to be honest, Ibn Wessler is in deeper shit.
Do you think he really murdered his brother? But why? And what does it have to do with Natasha and the threats?
doesn't add up yet. Something's missing. Let's visit the institution and try to find out what we can about this Albert Wessler fella.
Exactly. If he's the dead body, we've got to know what the motive was. If we can't, and if he's still alive, we gotta ask him directly.
And what do you think, Sonny?
I think Ibn, Albert, and Natasha are the three key players in this case, and that all of it has something to do with the brothel.
And the fact that Natasha used to be a courtesan?
Yeah, that too.
Listen, Sonny, about Molly.
Oh, just forget it, Marty, okay? She's not part of my life anymore. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Forget it. Let's concentrate on the case, and on making it out alive, and helping Natasha, too.
Whatever you say, Boss Bird. So you think Natasha's really in danger?
It could be, or she could even be behind everything.
No, you don't believe that.
I'm not sure what I believe, Marty.
Hmm.
Let's see. Things got mixed up at the brothel.
Oh no. Okay, this time we know a bit better what we are doing, so it's gonna go a lot faster, and we totally got this. Let's investigate. Things got mixed up at the brothel. Madame Z was? I'm not sure. Okay. Not Natasha. Things got mixed up in the brothel. Eben? Yes. Okay. Eben wouldn't have been the first I would have placed here, but okay. I'm trusting our hints here. Natasha's secret Westless twin, Molly's name, a corpse with a wristband, Deborah is dead. What if Wesler's twin would have visited that place when Natasha was working there, pretending to be Wesler? I mean, Eben? I don't know. Let's try this. Almost, but not quite. Okay, Natasha's secret. That's it. Yeah. Eben found out that Natasha was a secret spy of Zewa's all the time. Natasha worked at the brothel and Zewas wanted to keep that a secret because she is with Eben. Natasha was a courtesan before and Eben tried to keep that a secret. Natasha was the secret lover of Zip and Eben knows that. Wow, could you imagine Natasha and Zip together? What's gonna happen? Would she have been working as a spy too? I don't think it's as simple as this, so I'm gonna try the option B. Nope. So is it option A? Not option A either. Well, she is not Zip's lover. I'm pretty sure about that. So I would say option D then.
Natasha used to work there, that's obvious. And Ibn wanted to keep that a secret.
But why? Could this wristband belong to her former client then?
A secret, it seems, somebody else had to pay for.
Zip killed someone to keep this a secret on Eben Wesler's orders. The wristband is the key and the evidence that Zip killed someone because of Natasha's secret. Zip dealt with the body and kept the wristband to himself. Zip stole the wristband from Eben Wessler. No, it was C.
Somebody died for that secret. Zip hid the body, but he kept the wristband.
But I was about to put in there. Wesley's twin, Molly's name a corpse with a wristband. Deborah is dead. So should I put like zip here? No. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is not the right option.
Who could it belong to?
Somebody from the royal family. Even Wesley was just a puppet of Zewas all along. The dead body was Eben Wesley himself, but then who was the real killer? There is no dead body, the whole thing was just a hoax, and Zip is behind all of this charade. Albert Wesley, the resident of an insane asylum. Oh, this is getting very interesting. The first option makes no sense because Zewas was a royalist. What if the dead body was Eben Wesley? Because with my logic is either one of these two, it's D or B. What if it was Wesley? No, it wasn't. Okay, let's try again. There is no dead body, the whole thing was... Oh, they change places. Interesting. So then I would guess this one.
The dead body was almost certainly Albert Wessler, a resident of an insane asylum. But why did he have to die?
I'm not even sure if he's dead or not. I mean, they could have faked the whole thing.
So where exactly is this place?
A few hours' drive from here, in the middle of nowhere. It's a creepy old mansion, of course.
You think it's a good idea to go there? What if it's a trap?
I told you, you can still go back.
Huh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserved that.
Let's talk about Natasha.
You still trust her?
I never trusted her, Marty.
I mean, you believe her?
I'm sure she was honestly afraid. People don't fake it that easy. But I can understand why she didn't tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah, that too. And the death of Deborah complicated things even more.
Hey, Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right? I mean, Natasha.
Ah, don't be stupid, Marty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, all right, boss.
He still cares about Molly.
So what do you think happened to the corpse?
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but even if half of what they say about the hive is true, starvation, riots, arson, predation.
You're telling me. Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn once again. And because of its own foolishness.
Well, that's if another meat war doesn't break out first. 'Cause then, the whole wilderness will burn.
Lovely prospects, eh?
Either way, it was a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in Roachtown.
It's the only place no one will ever find it.
Like the belly of a burning ship.
Oh, I think that was an intentional red herring.
Sounds about right.
The Great Meat War. I mean, small details, but I've been wondering for a while, like... Our main character, Sonny, wears a leather jacket. So, of what is it made of? Or of whom is it made of? Stupid little detail. But thinking about this whole some animals being predators and some being prey, and I'm just wondering what an interesting choice for a clothing for this character. Let's talk about Zip H. Murphy.
Who'd have thought? I believed that little rat. I thought he'd changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Marty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming right now, leave it all to hell and have another drink.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
I don't know, I'm kind of proud of you boys not having that drink and actually daring to work on solving this case. I mean, having the drink would be the easier option. Let's see if Marty has something else he wants to say to us.
Okay, so the picture is more or less clear. Ibn's got his brother killed because he learned Natasha worked in a brothel.
Well, that could be the case, but I believe the roots go deeper than that.
Which we'd only learn if we talked to him. I mean, if the corpse isn't him, because then we'd need a medium.
Which would be exciting, but maybe it's enough if we ask the doctor who treated him.
That too, yeah. But where's the fun in that?
Let's take a look at our notebook. Places: insane asylum. A mental institute with a ridiculously long name, true. And a ridiculously long history. According to the pictures, it looks just like the castle of the vampire bats in those cheap horror movies. Yes, I'm excited. I want to go there and find out what's going on with this mystery. The Meat War. The Great Meat War was the biggest and most bloody conflict in the known history of the wilderness, ranging from 822 to 849. In the beginning, it only affected Altera, the two-headed continent, but in its later years, it spread to 12 colonial provinces, including all of Clawville's 4 colonies. During the Meat War, about 80 to 90 million animals died. Wow, that's so many animals dead. Whew. And after the war, 27 species were declared extinct. Okay, good to know more about the history. No more questions, so let's talk with him.
Okay, so the picture is more or less clear. Ibn's got his brother killed because he learned Natasha worked in a brothel.
Well, that could be the case, but I believe the roots go deeper than that.
Which we'd only learn if we talked to him. I mean, if the corpse isn't him, because then we'd need a medium.
Which would be exciting, but maybe it's enough if we ask the doctor who treated him.
That too, yeah. But where's the fun in that?
Okay, so, what am I supposed to do here? Did I check everything here? Call us from Clawville 555966. Did I call there already? No, probably didn't. 5, 5, 5, 9, 6, 6. Hello?
Hello. You've called the Let There Be Peace Forever mental institution for ill and damaged minds. What can I do for you, sir? Or madam?
Well, I'd like to inquire about a patient who I believe is being treated at your institution. His name is Albert Wessler.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out that information if you don't have the password given to relatives. Do you have one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not a relative. I'm calling from the Clawville Police Department.
Oh, I see. In that case, officer, I'd advise you to visit our institution personally. Our director and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, miss. I guess I'll do that.
will welcome you with open arms, sir. Have yourself a beautiful starlit night.
Oh,
Hmm?
thanks. Goodbye.
See you soon.
What? That was weird.
So,
We have to go there.
the thought gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps aren't good enough for you?
Ha ha ha.
I guess we do have to go there, but we still cannot use our map, which tells me I need to talk with Marty. Perhaps. No more questions. Let's talk with him.
So, I get the couch?
It'd be better if I called Lewis. He'll open up a room for you to sleep in.
Whew, great idea.
Okay, oh, I can't remember Lewis's number. Was it here somewhere? Ah, yes. 555932. Okay. 5, 5, 5, 9, 3, and 2. Louis, are you there?
Hey, Lewis, it's me again.
Oh, hello, Sonny. What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
Naturally, Sonny.
Thanks, Lewis. I'm not even gonna say it.
I will. You owe me one. Again.
Yeah.
I wonder when the time comes for us to pay back those favors we owe to Louis. Oh, now we have new place. Okay. I guess we have nothing else to do besides to go there. So let's do that. Chapter 4, Farewell, my lovely.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa. My darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter.
Red stage.
Not hers. Who's there? Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red. Painted red. Painted red.
Damn.
That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this...
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
What do you mean? Oh, damn. The paint is flaking from the walls and the floor looks so dirty. Everything is worn down and... Oh wow, this place doesn't look like it's doing very well.
We should go to reception first. Let them know we're here.
Okay. And we have only one thing that's colorful in here, which is the weird mural. So is this the... Was it the Fox King Hector the Third? And there is sun coming from behind his head, and he's much bigger than all the other animals in this painting. And he's offering them something? Not sure what. Is that food or something else?
This picture.
It's very...
Special?
And are these like, I don't know, dark, stormy clouds that the sun is pushing away or something? They look happy. Seeing this Fox King offering them something.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out. This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
Sonny dear, the photo on your wall wasn't a photo of Miles Davis, it was a photo of Louis Armstrong. Maybe I was gonna name your characters after jazz musicians. Dear developers. Okay, let's see if there is anything else here. I don't think we should use the stairs yet, so let's talk with Nurse. I love the fact that we cannot see their head at all. It's wonderful.
Ah, like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Of all the great wild ones.
Greetings, miss.
Is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you. The chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumy, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Oh damn, let's look at our notebook first. Nurse. Name, Miranda the nurse. Species, giraffe. Gender, female. Special feature, full of life, full of hope, full of almost everything. And she is a big fan of us, unfortunately. Personal infos. An overly nice nurse we met behind the desk of the asylum. Her name is Miranda, and she's an embarrassingly huge fan of the chicken police. I think we might be able to kind of use that a bit as our advantage in this situation. She might be more inclined to talk to us if she is our fan, so let's ask some questions from her.
Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Oh, so the last name is actually longer. Interesting, because I'm not quite sure if I remember this right, but I think Madame Zevas might have had a book by this same doctor in her bookshelf, but I can't for the life of me remember what was the name of that book. But I think the last name was same, or at least similar.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Let's ask about a strange wristband.
What can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents, but I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the Chicken Police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
Thank you.
That was a bit weird, but let's read our notebook. People. Dr. Caesius Quetzalcoatl. Species Green Tree Python. Gender male, special feature, cold, distant professional, and he gives me the creeps. But you haven't met him yet. Personal infos. The professor is a real polyhister. Scientist, writer, philosopher, and who knows what else. I have no idea what is this word, I've never encountered it before, but I love playing these games because occasionally I encounter words that are not familiar to me and it widens my vocabulary. Okay, I think I took a look at everything here, so let's try the stairs.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Hmm.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me. I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
So what? You're trying to intimidate us and we just stepped into your office? Wow, this place looks like a wreck. I'm gonna quickly look at our notebook. We got a new personal info about Albert. We might have a bingo. Albert Wessler has disappeared from the asylum. Okay. This we read already. Yeah. Let's take a look at the walls.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense. An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up. Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal, too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Okay. I guess it's time to talk with him. Oh, let's look at him first.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Okay, so we can ask things now. Let's go these through in order. First topic, Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens: depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
Ah, the mural.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
So next, let's ask about the insane asylum.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance. Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Is he checking his clock every here and then? when he raises his arm like that. So I guess the only thing is left is to question him.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle. So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible grey ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
So, what if we would hear a case of one of the brothers having multiple personalities? I'm just not sure which one. When we were questioning Ibn Wessler, he constantly was blinking his eyes and he was also changing his posture. I don't know. I wonder which brother we interviewed or questioned. What kind of special treatment did Albert get? Tell me, did Ibn Wessler threaten you in any way? I'm gonna ask the first question. We have mysterious and addicted to details.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Do you think he was a threat to others? How did Albert relate to you? How did you see Albert when you first met? Daydreamer. I don't know, I'm just curious, so I'm gonna ask the first question.
Do you think he was a threat to others?
He didn't seem like that at first. He was fragile, frail, overwrought. I would have labeled him as a threat to himself, but not to others.
And later, when you came to know him better?
Albert had certain seizures. We found that out quite soon in that surprisingly cold winter. During those times, his personality distorted. He became almost someone else entirely, almost unrecognizable.
Okay. Did I guess this right? Did he have multiple personalities? We call Natasha's companion both Hubbard and Ivan. What if Albert had multiple personalities as well? What if they both do?
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Okay, so Albert could just walk in and out. You're keeping some things from me, am I right? How could you let Albert leave this place? When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? Which one of these points to details? I think this might be it.
You're keeping some things from me, am I right?
I can only answer the questions you ask.
You just avoided giving an answer.
Such insight. Not bad for a rooster.
Thank you. So?
Albert was working on a painting commissioned by his brother, Hobart Wessler.
Was it of a woman named Natasha by any chance?
Exactly.
What's going on in here? Daydreamer, confused, mysterious, addicted to details. Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha? Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? Addicted to details. None of these are clear. None of these are like clearly related to details, but they all might contain details. I'm gonna ask if he told how he felt about the painting.
Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting?
From the first moment he loved it. He was fascinated by it. But who could blame him? A little diversity, fresh air, a beautiful lady, and of course, on top of all that, he could finally do what he loved best: paint.
Which could be a surprisingly effective therapy.
It could have been. Unfortunately, these excursions have greatly intensified his seizures. They have become more frequent and extreme.
Interesting.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous?
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Gosh.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes.
What?
And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
Focus confused. The two fellas who brought Albert back, could you describe them? I think we know already who they are. Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly? Or you didn't believe Albert had an accident? Is that right? Confused. I'm gonna have to choose this option because for me this points to confusion more than the first two.
You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right?
Of course not. I'm not naive. I knew immediately that Albert had been severely battered, and I was sure it had been his brother, Hobart.
Well, we don't know that, Dr. Quetzal.
Would you defend a monster?
Take it easy, Doc. One of the most critical elements of my job is not to make assumptions.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Featherland. I'm sorry I got carried away.
It's all right. Happens to everyone.
Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert? Or pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident? I'm gonna ask about his condition. Because that refers to those details he was addicted to.
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone, Detective.
Sorry, Doc, but I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in words, but also in his soul and spirit.
What do you mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
Completely stopped. What? Could it be another brother who came back mutilated? What if he was somehow working with Natasha and they kind of like switched brothers? Oh no, what if Albert is running the criminal underworld at the moment instead of Eben? What's going on?
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
We are rusted copper again. It's fine. But hear me out. What if Eben Wessler was a ruthless gangster and for one reason or another, Natasha and Albert wanted to get rid of him? What if Natasha and Albert fell in love or something? What if they made this plan where they made Eben bring Albert to this establishment and then arranged the painting sessions? I mean, when Sonny asked from Natasha who did the painting she had on her walls, she said that it was done by a dear or precious friend or something along those lines. So what if on one of these painting sessions Natasha and Albert switched brothers? They cut Eben's tongue out and took one of his eyes out and broke his fingers, so he cannot write, he cannot talk. He cannot tell that he should not be in the asylum. Because Eben's henchmen, the raccoon called Zip, and couple other sources we've been talking to have said that Eben's personality has changed drastically and he's trying to pull away from the underworld. What if that is because of he's not Eben, he's Albert? I don't know. So many clues, so little time, but I'm excited to know more. I think Natasha might very well be in on this. Questions asked 10, focus accuracy 40%. But we got another important clue nevertheless. Albert Wessler disappeared. We have a hunch about what could have happened to him. I'm not gonna retry this questioning either, so let's continue. And we have several new entries in our journal. Let's take a look at our clues first. Oh, sorry, it was here. Albert Wessler disappeared. We have a hunch about what could have happened to him. I don't think he's dead. I really don't. Eben. New personal info. Eben most likely killed his own brother, Albert Wessler, and made Zip dispose of the body. This seems most plausible right now, anyway. No, it doesn't. I don't believe this theory at all. Natasha might have been playing them both. And we have a new information about Dr. Quetzal. The professor's family has governed the mental health facility and its estate for more than 100 years. Quite a heritage, eh? He is cold, reserved, and endlessly professional in his own field, but the thing that happened to Albert even got a rise out of him. No surprises there, I think. And another personal info about Albert. Albert's brother Eben took him out of the asylum on several occasions to paint that fateful picture of Natasha. I think we have a motive, gentlemen. What if he fell in love with Natasha when he was painting her? I mean, it seems like all the animals here are falling for Natasha. The half-century occupation. Since its foundation, an attempt to conquer Clawville has only been made once. The half-century occupation started in 622 and lasted until 677. During this time, the Hara Empire took over all of Clawville's territories except its colonies, which in the end, with the help of Swalasso and Lavoslavia, took back control over Clawville. Okay. There are no new questions to ask, so let's speak to him.
That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
Because he was
We believe
Albert.
you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here. I can almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
Wow. Okay. Well, this place certainly looks interesting. We have 5 things we can take a look at well-being here. Let's begin with the creepy mural.
No way. Is this some kind of puzzle?
I don't think so. But we could still find something important here. A pattern, a sign, anything.
A pattern, a sign, anything. Wow, there's a star, many eyes. Number 8, or symbol of eternity. Many, many eyes. Something watching someone. Ambulance or police car. Houses. Wait, there are numbers. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there are, yeah, all the numbers from 1 to 8. Okay. This looks like one of them Cthulhu symbols. Elder God symbols. Could this be Natasha? I don't know. And there are stars. Okay, are the colors somehow important? What we can see over and over again are the eyes. And the only thing in orange are these drops. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at the room. Writing desk. Okay, oh, it looks lovely. Photo of the Westlers.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman. 2 men and 1 woman. Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please, stitch up your beak, okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Albert's letter.
Look at that. A letter.
Pile of papers.
Scribbles. Newspaper articles. Study papers. Poems. Perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Okay, so I think we took a look at everything. Wait, there were some random chess pieces. Tea and coffee, polar tea. I'm not sure what this says. Paper and ink. Okay. Fancy bed.
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always.
Okay. Little window with bars on it, of course.
A small window, a small hope.
With eyes. There are eyes in the mural, and his eye was gouged out. Or poked out. Okay.
The style. It's very familiar to me.
You've been lonely for far too long, huh?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little.
So similar style as we saw in the sweltering Nile brothel. Okay. We have new items.
Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that.
I need to reread it. I didn't read it. I thought Sonny might read it, so I didn't. Okay, I know I don't exist. I don't exist because you don't see me, but I'm not what you think I am. You don't think about me, do you? Never. No. I think of you every day, every minute, always. In my dreams, I have become one with them. One soul. You know who I'm thinking about, right? Can you feel it? Can you feel that I'm there too? With you? Do you feel it? Right? I can't hold it in myself for long. Forgive me. Forgive me, forgive me, please. I'm sorry. But I can't help it. The world is crashing down. The whole world. Just rotting and rotting. Everything is rotting around me. I have to get out of here to become one with my destiny and one with you. Forgive me. What? What? Okay. So that happened. Let's take a look at the portrait as well.
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman.
Oh no.
What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty.
What do you mean?
Everything will be revealed soon.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what now? Where to?
Back to Clawville, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
You're driving me crazy. But all right, let's go home.
Damn. Okay. We got a new notebook entry. We got a new book. Come on. Albert fell fatally in love with Natasha. Was that the reason he had to die? I don't think he's dead. I still do not think he's dead, but we got our map now. Should we talk with Dr. Quetzal once more? I will talk with him. Oh, we got a new question we can ask. Let's ask it first. Photo of the Westlers.
What can you tell us about the woman in the photo we saw in Albert's room?
Do you mean Miss Natasha Katsenko? Well, yes. I don't know much about her, but everyone heard her name and her voice around here.
Did she ever visit this place?
Never. But if you ask me, Natasha probably didn't even know Albert was a resident of our institution.
And Albert, did he mention her often?
Constantly. It was obvious he had an affection for Miss Katsenko, but I wouldn't have thought for a moment he could escape because of her.
I wouldn't jump ahead, Doctor. Something else could be behind Albert's disappearance.
Do you think so? All the signs clearly indicate this.
Maybe they do, Doctor, but in my line of work, logic's not always the best advisor.
In 99% of cases.
Exactly. But this one typically belongs to the remaining 1%.
If you say so.
What if Natasha knew about both of their affection and was playing both of them at the same time? Why would she hire a private detective? Well, the reason why she would hire a private detective might be that she didn't know Albert was in this institution. She didn't know he had an obsession with her or that it went this deep, and she could not guess that he might be the one sending the threats. That might make sense. That's why she would hire two private detectives, Sonny and Phil Marlowe.
So, detectives, have you found what you were looking for?
I'm afraid we have, Doctor. And more.
I wouldn't dare to say I'm happy to hear it, but I'm glad to be of service to you.
Well, thanks, Doc.
I hope I don't offend you by saying I hope we're not going to meet anytime soon.
Not on account of either of our jobs, am I right?
Exactly.
Because Natasha said, when we were in her room, Natasha said to us that Eben, or Howard, how do you ever want to call him, has been acting weird and being more distant than usual. What if she doesn't know that their places might have been switched? I don't know. I want to know what's the truth.